So today in Bradenton, Florida, the 2020 World's Strongest Man finally got underway with day one of the qualifiers after all of the delays due to weather, hurricane watches, tornado warnings, and all sorts of things. They found a way to get the events indoors into the convention center and get started today. Ciao, homie! Ciao, homie. I am my block's strongest man, and I help you create small goals that matter in whatever you do. On this channel, we exercise with everyday objects, talk bodybuilding and strength sports, and review my block's best gadgets. If you're new here, consider subscribing and clicking the bell button for all notifications of my upcoming videos that release every other day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And at any point during this video, check out links in the description below where I list out everything that I've discussed in this video and how to get merchandise that helps us spread this message of small goals matter together, and tips like TubeBuddy to help supercharge your own channel. So on to today's topic. So they began with the first two events, which were a farmer's walk and some groups doing a deadlift and some doing a squat. I'm not sure why they do that. I don't see how that's fair. I don't know if they're trying to get really good deadlifters and give them squats or vice versa, but it didn't really, like they had Jerry Pritchett doing deadlifts and he's one of the greatest deadlifters of all time. So I don't know why they do that. It doesn't seem fair, but anyway, let's have a look at what happened today. I'll go back to my trusty spreadsheet and break it down, and then we'll go back and show you the websites where I got this stuff from. So again, I've purchased the $1.99 weeks pass to get all the behind-the-scenes interviews and information about the event, and that's where I'm getting most of this from. And in addition, Fitness Volt is a website that's been really on top of this and providing seemingly more up-to-date results than the Facebook page for SBD Strongman, or World's Strongest Man, is providing, unless I'm just not good at it and not reading it well, but I'll show you that in a moment. So first, the farmer's walk, 331 pounds per hand for a max distance. The way they did it was you carry the two weights, 10 meters, you're allowed to drop it in the safe zone at the 10-meter mark, turn around, carry it back, and allowed, again, in that safe zone at the end of the 10 meters to drop it. You cannot drop it anywhere between those 10-meter marks or else that's the end, right? And so it's maximum distance there. And the way that that turned out was looking at group one, and again, I went through all of these groupings in my previous videos, but group one had Jerry Pritchett, Robert Oberst, Luke Richardson, Gabriel Pena, and Patrick O'Dwyer. Jerry Pritchett, who I'm a huge fan of, but I know he's had some injuries in the recent past and, isn't the youngest guy of the lot. I didn't expect for him to dominate the way he has in day one so far. Farmer's walk, he destroys everybody else. 52 meters. I mean, think about that. That's what, like 168 feet or something like that's insane to carry that amount of weight. I couldn't carry 100 pounds in each hand that far. I've tried. I couldn't carry it anywhere near that far. And so Jerry Pritchett and Robert Oberst, the two leaders in group one, followed by Luke Richardson, Pena, and O'Dwyer. In group two, Evan Singleton, who I took heat on YouTube for not giving enough credit to, and I guess my detractors or critics or helpers, let's call them helpers to the community, were right. He dominated his group. Well, he barely beat Kevin Ferris, but they beat everybody else by a lot. So Evan Singleton was interviewed after the fact, and I saw that on the SBD World's Strongest Man coverage, and he said that he had the pleasure of seeing Kevin Ferris go first and knew how far he had to go. He was getting really tired. His back was burning, and he did some sort of like really lunging movement at the end to just get that little extra that he needed to win this event. So Kevin Ferris comes in second, again an astonishing 52 meters. Mark Felix at 42.67, Shivlikov at 42, and Adam Bishop comes in last of his group at a still very respectable 30.48 meters. Group 3, Novikov wins that at 57.54 meters, the best performance of anybody in any group. Boudreau comes in second at 46.34. Tom Stoltman third at 42.78. Gav Bilton at 31.5, and Trey Mitchell at 10 meters. A little disappointing for him, same as Pat O'Dwyer. And then Group 4, JF Caron comes roaring into the first event like all the hype behind him has been, and he wins his group 48.2 meters. Bobby Thompson at 45.59 meters. Irvin Toots 18.76. Graham Hicks and Ettore Melstead not so great in this event at 7.47 and 5.3 respectively. So in Group 5, the kind of Masters-aged Terry Hollins ends up winning his group and beating Brian Shaw by a convincing margin, may I add. And, you know, again, Terry competes in Masters at this point. He's of Masters age, and he's now in an open group, beating the only World's Strongest Man champion of the whole lot by 12 meters. So this is crazy. Avar Smokstelis comes in third at 36.56. Nick Best, 29.56, but I gotta say, Luke Stoltman was one of my choices to podium this World's Strongest Man, and Nick Best, an alternate, beat him in the first event. So yes, it's only one event. Let's see what happens after that, but good signs for Nick Best and not great signs for Luke Stoltman so far. So then we move into the second event, which I mentioned was a deadlift for some groups. And the way that I wrote this, so this text right here is above the groups that are the deadlift. So Group 1 and Group 2 had the deadlift. And then over at the end, Group 5 had the deadlift, or has the deadlift right now. That's the only one we don't have results for yet. Groups 3 and 4 had the squat lift. And so the deadlift is 761 pounds for the maximum amount of reps in 60 seconds, and the squat is 694.5 pounds for the maximum number of reps in 60 seconds. So you might be asking, why are the pounds weird like that? It's because they're kilograms, so they equate to an off number of pounds, and so all of these are in kilograms originally. So Group 1, Jerry Pritchett wins again, and you'll start seeing two of the groups that way. So of the first two events, Jerry Pritchett won his group both times, and JF Caron won his group both times. The surprise to me was Bobby Thompson came in second both times in Group 4. So going back to Group 1, Gabriel Pena comes in second with 8 reps on the deadlift, 7 reps for Luke Richardson, 6 for Pat O'Dwyer, and 1 for Robert Ober. So I guess I haven't been paying enough attention to that being a deficiency for him. I know everybody talks about Robert Oberst being really good in the squat and really bad in the deadlift, but 1 rep when the winner got 9 is, you know, and I didn't see it because they're not televising this live, but I'd like to see what went wrong there because I can't imagine he's actually that much worse than the other guys. So Group 2, Mark Felix, Shivlikov, and Adam Bishop tie for 9 reps each on the deadlift. Kevin Fairs with 6, and Evan Singleton, who came in first for the Farmers, comes in last of his group in the deadlift, still with a respectable 4 reps. So moving on to Group 3, we have Trey Mitchell winning it with 11 reps, kind of tying with JF Caron for the most reps of, and Bobby Thompson for the most reps of anybody of the whole field. Novikov comes in with 10 reps, Tom Stoltman with 8, Maxime Boudreau with 7, and Gavin Bilton, 0 reps, gets injured on that event. So I don't know the extent of the injury and whether that means he's out for the rest of the competition or will continue to compete in the other events. So we'll see how that unfolds. Group 4, as I mentioned, JF Caron wins that just like he did with the Farmers. So 2 wins, 2 events for him on day 1. Bobby Thompson ties him with 11 reps on the squat. Graham Hicks with 10 reps on the squat. Ettore Melstead with 5 reps. And Irvin Toots, 0. I didn't hear anything about an injury there, so perhaps just not able to do the squat. But maybe we'll get some more information later this evening as the Facebook site is updated from SBD. And deadlift Group 5, I haven't seen updated yet. You know, as I mentioned, Fitness Volt has been really awesome. This is the Facebook page, and so they're giving some results, but they're actually behind this website, Fitness Volt, for some reason, which maybe they're on site there and able to update their webpage more quickly. But if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, let's see if we have deadlift results yet for Group 5. And so I'll just go down to the bottom, and no, we have still only the Farmer's Walk for Group 5. And so I'll go back and talk about what I think the points should be. And so I haven't seen the points
explained anywhere on how they are calculated, but my opinion or my thought was you would have, if you have 5 guys in a grouping, for example, first place would get 5 points, second place 4, third place 3, fourth place 2, and last place 1. That's what I thought the points would be, and Fitness Volt seems to be doing it the same way as I am, so let's just take that as temporary confirmation as that's how the points are done. So since Jerry Pritchett won both events, he would get 5 points each time, giving him 10. Luke Richardson came in third for 3 points, and then came in third for 3 points, so he would have 6. Gabriel Pena came in fourth for 2 points, and then came in second for 4 points, giving him 6. Robert Oberst came in second for 4 points, and last for 1 point, giving him 5. And then Pat O'Dwyer came in fifth for 1 point, and then fourth for 2 points, giving him 3. So following that sort of layout, I won't go into every single one, but this is how I came up with these other points. So Mark Felix came in third and then first, so that gives him 7 points because of the 3-way tie. So typically you would say he would get 3 points for Farmers and 5, giving him 8. And typically when there's a tie between 2 people, they take a half a point away from each one. But in this case, there was a tie among 3, so they took a point away from each one to kind of spread it across. So Mark Felix's 5 plus 3, 8, minus 1, gives him 7. Shivlikov, again here, would have had 5, gets 4 because of the 3-way tie. And then up here had 2, so he has a total of 6 points. And that's how you figure out Singleton, Ferris, and Bishop at the 3-way tie for 6, and then 5 for Bishop. So that's the standings for Group 2. And then Group 3, Novikov came in first and then second, so he has 5 plus 4 is 9 points. Then you have Trey Mitchell coming in fifth place in the Farmers for 1 point, but then coming in first in the squat, so that gives him 6. Tom Stoltman also at 6, Boudreau at 6, and Gavin Bilton. Fitness Volt gave him also 2 the way I did, so I think what happened there is if you don't complete any reps at all, you get no points. You don't get the 1 point for being in 5th place. So Bilton would have had 2 points on the Farmers and 0 on the squat, giving him a total of 2 points. So that's the way I think they're doing the points. If Fitness Volt is doing it in the official way, which is the only source that I can see right now. So Group 4. JF Caron wins 2 times, but one of those times is in a tie with Bobby Thompson, so gets half a point reduced, so his 10 points becomes 9.5. Bobby Thompson came in second to JF Caron in the Farmers and tied with him in the squat, so that would give him 1 point less, which would be 8.5 or 8.5. Graham Hicks at 5 points, so he had 2 in the Farmers walk, and then he would have 3 here, so the tie for first makes him 3rd place, not 2nd. That's kind of the way they do the math. So 5 points there, and then Irvin Toots 3, Etor Melstead 3.
And this just in, Group 5 deadlifts are done, and Terry Hollins again surprises maybe just me, where at his age, not that he's old, but he's not Novikov age, pulls out the win on the deadlift again, actually tying with Brian Shaw this time, both of them at 6 reps on the deadlift, giving them both 4.5 points. Obviously 5 for first. They both give up the half point for the tie. 3rd place was also a tie with Stoltman and Smokstelis, each coming in at 5 reps, only 1 rep behind Terry Hollins and Brian Shaw, so they get 2.5 points each. And Nick Best comes in 5th place. They don't mention how many reps, but that would get him 1 point, giving him a total of 3. So if we go back to our magic Excel worksheet, we now see Group 5 has Terry Hollins leading with 9.5 points, Brian Shaw in second at 8.5, Ivyar Smokstelis at 5.5, Luke Stoltman at 3.5, continues to disappoint based on my predictions anyway, and Nick Best with 3 total points after the first 2 events. So let's look at this landscape here. So Jerry Pritchett and Luke Richardson
Luke Richardson and Gabriel Pena are tied for second place, so I would imagine they would go head-to-head in the last man standing stones. Jerry Pritchett would automatically go through if this trend continues with the remaining qualifying events. In Group 2, Mark Felix would now go through with Shivlikov, Evan Singleton, and Kevin Ferris all tied with 6 points apiece right now. So if that trend were to continue, I don't know how they do a last man standing with 3 people, but hopefully that 3-way tie is broken by then. Group 3, same thing. Alexei Novikov with 9 points, the clear leader, would go through. And then a 3-way tie right now with Trey Mitchell, Tom Stoltman, and Maxime Boudreau. Hopefully that 3-way tie is broken and you have 2 guys going head-to-head on the last man standing stones. Group 4 is more clear-cut. JF Caron would go through, and then Bobby Thompson and Graham Hicks would battle it out in the last man standing stones, although Bobby Thompson is currently considerably ahead. And then in Group 5, you would have Terry Hollins going through to the finals. I think it would be his 10th, if I'm correct. He's been in it a long time, and that would be quite an accomplishment. And Brian Shaw and Aviar Smokstelis would battle it out in the last man standing stones. So there you have it. After day 1 at the World's Strongest Man in Bradenton, Florida, after getting past hurricane warnings, tornado warnings, working fervently to move everything inside a convention center on a floor that could hold all this weight without being too badly damaged, we have day 1 of the qualifiers complete, and we know what the standings are so far. And like all the hype said, JF Caron doing incredible, and Brian Shaw not leading his group right now, so not guaranteed, maybe a little bit of a surprise to some. And Jerry Pritchett, I don't want to say overperforming, but overperforming my original prediction, and I'm happy to be wrong about that because I'm a huge Jerry Pritchett fan. Glad to see he's not suffering from any of his injuries, and he's at least so far in full form. So it's been really exciting, even though we haven't been able to see any of the live action, and we're not going to see it on TV until December. I've been really excited to see all the behind the scenes. They're doing a lot of great interviews with Brian Shaw and Robert Oberst and a lot of the big names, JF Caron. Even Big Z was doing interviews. So it is still exciting. Not exciting as seeing the live action, but it's not like you're sitting there doing nothing. You are seeing a lot of great content. So I'll be back again tomorrow to give you some more results, and hopefully they'll be just as exciting as today's were. So if you like this video and want to learn more about any of the products I described during this video, make sure to check out the links in the description below. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.